from outer space. In they come. AndreasG starting near the North Pole, and Laren near the South Pole. DoSiDo tournament, and this is the losers final bracket, is that right?
Yep. Losers round 5, following it up with the losers semi-finals, feeding into the grand finals.
There you go.
However, if you're in the grand finals, you are automatically in to the Grand Dance, as this is a qualifier and the top 2 places go through. So it is all to play for.
So up in the north, we can see Andreas building a factory, and he's fixing to build some power plants too.
I'm having a little odd bug here where I zoom in a little bit and then I lose line of sight but still see Andreas's stuff building and everything. I just sort of lose that reduction of fog of war, which is odd. It stopped happening now that units are coming out, but when it was just the commander, I don't know, maybe it was the height range. Anyway, regardless, we have got these skitters going around. So from both players now, actually. Laren only sending 1 compared to Andreas's 3. Make that 4.
You gotta say we're sending skitters here.
I'm not sure I can do that sort of an accent.
Yeah, just kind of lengthen everything out, talk about what they're doing, talking about what they're fixing to be doing.
We'll see what I can do then. So we got an air factory going up from Laren now as his second build. I'm not sure if I'm sort of going
That was pretty good, actually. That was awesome. In come the skitters, but the Aventail's gonna shoot it down right away.
Indeedy do, and we've even got some spinners from Laren checking out that expansion central air lane. And only a single fabricator so far from Laren. But a vehicle
really takes you a lot of concentration, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
That's awesome.
It's not something that comes naturally.
So the skitter from from Andreas is moving around behind Laren's base. He actually gets out one of them there fighters, flying it across towards the other base, getting a view of everything. He actually leaves it out there above the lava, and another fighter's coming back down the other way. But then it goes back to the base. Doesn't want to get his fabricators killed by the bombers. Actually, here comes a bomber right now. Shooting stuff down. Actually, the bomber takes a hit, which allows the fighter to live long enough to pick that guy off.
Unfortunately, he doesn't take out the
blown
fabricator.
Away
oh my!
Over the base of Andreas. Killing you, isn't it? All right, okay. And bomber in the base of Laren does go ahead and take out that skitter that was just watching everything. There is still another one behind his base, ready to spy on him in case he needs a scout of what's going on later. Now he does have 2 bombers, and he is looking to see what he can do with them.
Did he is, and he's even got that sort of bot factory third, which I find interesting from Andreas. There's more bombers coming in, about to take out a fabricator, just miss it. Good micro there from Andreas. Both those bombers are taken down as a result. Not too much vehicle production going on from Andreas at the moment, and Laren really starting to make headway down those lanes and even expanding to the west. But again, the bot fabricator sort of seems a bit lost in this engagement, if I'm honest.
It does. You know, one thing that could happen at some point is he could do some bomb bots, which are often useful. The other thing he could do is use combat fabrics can heal flying units just fine. And, you know, I think it would be interesting to see the combination of flying units and combat fabricators.
Indeed, and unfortunately a fabricator there just gets sniped by that one Aventail from Laren that's dodging these bombing runs consistently. So that's a bit of a loss there for Andreas, and that Bumblebee taking an extraordinary amount of time to kill that single tank. But
Laren
no,
here seems to be quite a bit ahead on the metal economy. He's 121 to 58.
although he is suffering a little on the power, he's about 2k behind.
That's quite a bit behind. Several of these fighters are just picking them other fighters off. You gotta get rid of all the ing sounds. It's all in sound. Picking them off. They're not picking them off. They're picking them off. So Laren has gone ahead and expanded over here to the west, picking up this nice expansion. Nothing really going on in the east lane.
He's building a few more vehicle factories in his base.
That's right. He's building them in his base.
He's queuing up about 6 there total when they'll all be done.
He's not queuing them up. He's fixing to build more.
Ah, okay.
Quite a bit of bomber damage going down on this fabricator right there in the base of Andreas. He does only get one fabricator. Actually, he does pick off the second one. Very nice.
The bot fabric goes down as well. That won't be chewing any more seeds for the time being.
That's right. No seed chewing. Excellent observation.
Oh my goodness, this is so difficult.
So there's quite a big train of there's a tug of war going on here, but it seems like Andreas is not really participating that much. He's got like a blob of 5, 2 more, 3, 4, 5 more, maybe about 10 coming. So it would be a good idea for Laren to hold up here and blob up his units. But I guess at this point he's gotten an arrival that's early enough that he's able to take out and kind of duke it out with some of these guys early. He sees the response and is now bringing in his next set of units. Builds a nice proxy base along the west lane, and a few units moving down here on the east side by Andreas. I think I see a fabricator coming down here, so maybe he's going to go ahead and build some expansion down here, or he could use the ever powerful wall and tower defense to kind of bottle that up.
Oh, definitely. And even
the west lane looks kind of lost.
Definitely. I mean, something I find strange is Andreas not really picking up on his production. I mean, he's finally got those sort of 3 vehicle factories in the back of his base towards the east, producing stuff, but nothing really to counter Laren's massive push on the west. He's even setting up a further 4 vehicle factories there. More bumblebees coming in.
Uber Cannon, I think, is going to come popping out here any second now.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oof.
blast hit a bunch of them.
Right in the center of those Infernos, getting close, though.
Yeah, they took off a little touch of health there, and then follow up with the bombers is pretty good.
Second one goes off. Hummingbird exchange. Spinners desperately trying to do what they can.
And they do quite a good job on those. That really kind of put a stop to that for now. I'm sure there's more coming, as you can see. Quite a bit of I really like the mix of Infernos and Aventails. One of the interesting thing is that Andreas is he's actually started to catch up in metal extraction here pretty well, and Laren's been floating like 70 to 90 of his metal for a while now anyway. So even though he's ahead, he's actually if you deduct that off of there, he's actually pretty close in metal. Sometimes even behind. So it's a little deceptive to just look at the number, but on the other hand, if you look at the battleground, you can see that there is a little trouble in Big China, or is it the other way around? Anyway, what's that? There's trouble brewing up here in Andreas's base.
There be a couple of dividing forces and a few wall and tower going up as well. Being erected by that metal site, gonna make it a little bit redundant there.
He said erected, and there's the forces coming down here, clean that up. Wall going up, and fabricator going down. Going down, and the proxy base is in full production. Kind of feel like a teleporter would be pretty awesome here, right? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna it's interesting. You get a teleporter up; they're pretty cheap, and you've got the stream of units coming forward, and what happens is you take a big chunk of that stream and you just kind of teleport it forward, and suddenly, you know, your distance is no longer a negative here.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, they
something
both have pretty good production. Andreas has actually passed him in metal production, so even though earlier I felt things were fairly grim for him, he has done a good job of just like collecting all that metal over on the east side.
If you look at the army tab, they're actually pretty damn even Stevens at the moment. Factory count equal, Fabers relatively equal, mobile units darn near equal.
Everything is super equal. They're just hanging out here in the north side of them Yankees that Andreas happens to represent.
However, there's this little blob here. Bumblebee doing in some work, but this little blob is going to do a little bit more damage to this here base. The extent of which is unknown to me at this point.
I tell you what, this here is the DoSiDo tournament. There'll be dancing later. We might do a jig.
Lots of air coming in. That jig will have to wait, because there's too much of a dogfight going on over the horizon here.
Yeah, we might say the jig is up. That's so terrible. These are like the worst accents ever. That's like perfect. Because if we did a good job, the people might just like, I don't know. Finally, the army of AndreasG is moving forward. He's fixing to clean up this mess. Maybe kill that there proxy base. Or maybe like just kind of control the space he's in right now.
Yep. Now, something to look out for is we have a fabricator of the air variety coming out from Andreas. He's going for his T2 air, fixing that up there, just beginning that. So we'll see the little bit of the Hornet action later on in the game. Should he be able to defend it? I'm not entirely sure if it's legitimate at this point in time, because he doesn't have necessarily the full air superiority that may be required for success in this regard. This here endeavor, indeed.
So he's actually got quite a bit of production on that. Like he's got many fabricators working on that tier 2 air.
1, 2, 3, many, 5, 6.
Yes. 1, 2, 3,
7, 8.
many, and more coming. His commander's just sitting there chilling, not actually involved in the fight or in production, and since he is an efficient builder.
Could be putting up some anti-air or some P-gens, because he's still in the red on power. That's probably because of all that focusing down on the T2, if I'm honest, but even so, the commander's a very good builder, and you should always use him doing so. Well,
both commanders have the same situation. Both sitting idle. You know, the commander down to the south has also gone idle, but they also building a tier 2 air factory by Laren.
Yeah, but Andreas' one is now complete. Well, I say now, I mean in about 5 seconds.
Is complete and fixing here to finish up.
There we are.
And sure enough, the tactical missile. Yep.
That mobile rampage unit.
And Andreas is pushing forward now, actually making some headway into the proxy base of Laren.
Indeed, although there be some bombers coming in, they're going to do a little bit of damage there.
But he did have quite a few of them there spinners. Them there spinners to help him out there.
Did
you see these here spinners?
The ones that sort of fire at the sky. But it's going to take a little bit of a beating to actually get rid of this proxy, because it is producing unit to defend. Although the Hornets may be able to come over and assist now, we do see one being escorted by a bird of the humming.
Yeah, he does have that Hornet coming over here. Hopefully, those I believe do. Each tactical missile does do 1,000 damage, if I recall correctly.
Oh wow! So yeah, about 6 or so of those are required for a factory.
Yes. Those factories do.
In come the hummingbirds, though. They're probably going to come and snipe that Hornet.
Well, he has a few of his own, and he responds, and
Unfortunately, it
yep,
does go down.
does go down. So that was a kind of a
A
blow for him,
bummer.
but a bummer. The right bummer, I'm telling you. Another
Indeed.
one of them there Hornet does come out, and he will work on this problem again. He has actually taken out 2 of them there fighters. And
Hornets from
there's a
Laren as
Hornet there
well.
for Laren. Yeah, like everybody's got Hornets. And the second Hornet actually arrives shortly to the battle by Laren, and a third one just coming off the platform. So he's got a lot of build power on that. Let's see what he's got. He's got 1, 2, 3 fabricators helping out his thing, and then there's 1, 2, 3 many fabricators on the advanced air factory of Andreas.
Indeedy. I'm just looking at the army tab here, the stats, and it appears as though Andreas is actually pulling away, leaving Laren in the dust. It's looking by the factory count and the unit count there, indeed the Faber as well.
Yeah, it turns out that I actually have quite a bit of family that lives in Stafford, Texas, and an area around there, and I'm still only able to produce this terrible accent because I don't hang out with them enough.
Don't worry, I don't get much of a way over in the US, so I have a very British influence on this accent right here.
Well, when you get to Texas in the Houston area, I recommend you turn on Kick FM because the Kickers play the good Texas music.
That be the hillbilly stuff?
Hillbilly stuff? What are you talking about, man? That's like country.
This is country. This is DoSiDo. Although I don't know my geography of the US.
I think hillbilly may be considered to be more of a derogatory term. Also, I don't think it's really specific to the South. I think it's just maybe them uneducated folks.
I do apologize.
So quite a push out here by Andreas, making his way south.
Even into the expansion as well.
No radar due to his terrible current economy in both categories. Looks like he might get it. Yep, now he can see with radar, and he's got a bunch of bombers coming into the base of Laren, taking out the and apparently
up, though.
Massively overkilling. In fact, we should probably.
No.
Yeah, Fighter's gonna clean all those guys up. I don't know why he brought them O'Hara solo. That was.
Whoa.
Oh,
they're the
hummingbirds. He
hummingbirds.
actually did have a good defense there. I didn't realize they were all stacked on top of each other. So, he did take out 7 metal extractors, like 1, 2, 7 metal extractors. So that was actually a pretty good amount of damage because it will end up costing Laren quite a bit over time because it will take a while to repair those and fix them right up.
Plus, if you look at the western expansion, that is all but gone. Only 1 metal extractor remaining. Blimey, I don't know what's going on with my words today.
You having a problem? There's something funny about the way you talk, sir.
I think it might have been something I may have ingested last night. I don't remember much about the event.
Well, that don't amount much to a hill of beans, unless it was in fact a hill of beans. Can't believe you set me up for that. That was so good. And by so good, I mean so bad. So he's continuing to kind of do this off lava shore assault with his Hornet,
nice.
And the hummingbirds are doing.
They're open.
Yeah, delicious looking commander. You realize that at 1,000 damage apiece, basically just a couple rounds of these 4 Hornets that he's got here. 1, 2, 3, many Hornets take that commander out pretty quickly. But I think he knows that the end is near with his giant army pushing into his base.
I'm not sure
Nothing
if he
to
can keep
respond
up with the AA either, because there's just so much AA inside Andreas' base. He could just bring all of those hummingbirds over and absolutely swamp Laren's hummingbird ability to defend. But even so, he has got the the land force coming in as well now. Laren's eastern push has been completely revoked. And there's the GG from
There's
Andreas.
the GG, and that was in fact quite a good game. Very
was.
good tug and war back and forth, and a common move to tier 2. However, the overall macro of Andreas is what I think won it for him.
Mm.
I really do. I think this is a fun map that he's kind of selected here.
Yeah, it is. Although perhaps maybe make the chokes a little bit wider, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't. I think he found a seed, and this is the map that came from that seed, and he liked it. So he doesn't really have the ability to design the map per se.
Mm.
I like the way he GG'd and then ran his commander back, and
I'm still kicking.
Yeah, see, this is one of those places where tier 2 is actually pretty good versus, or tier 1 is pretty good versus tier 2 because, those hornets can do a lot of damage, but if you're fighting tier 1 tanks, Aventails in this case, then it doesn't really matter. It's like, okay, I took one out with one shot, now I wait several seconds and shoot again. So that is good game and well done. And we can return to the main menu, take a look at the standings here. I feel like there may have been a robot. No, the robot hasn't actually noticed the end of the game yet. So there it goes. Win goes to Andreas. And if we scroll over here to the right, we see that the next round is AndreasG versus Realm Max.
Bum, bum, bum.
So each of these guys have lost exactly one, and so if they win this, then they move up here into slot O, where they will face Headcrab. If they win that, they actually go on and would face Headcrab again. They have to win 2 in a row, so that his record would actually be worse than theirs, because if they win this, they'll have 1 loss, and Headcrab will have 0 losses. So if they beat Headcrab, then they're even with 1 loss each. So it's kind of a long road ahead for anybody in the losers bracket. However, pretty exciting match to be had here by Realm Max and AndreasG.
Come back next time for that, folks.
So I think we can probably start it, right?
Probably yes.